Hello, I'm Shafika Abdulatif. Today, me and my group members going to present about stress effects on students' achievement. I will be presenting about chapter 1. So, let's get started. Let's start with background of the study. Stress is a common human response that impacts our overall feelings and affects our physical and mental health. It is a state of worry or mental tension caused by difficult situations affecting both body and mind. College students are particularly susceptible to the stress due to the transitional nature, cultural differences, and demanding schedule. Academic stress is a significant concern for students as it caused by various factors, including too many assignments, unhealthy competitions, failure fear, poor interpersonal relationships, and family issues. Next, problem statement. Stress are persistent issues that can hinder a student's ability to contribute to campus life and lead substance abuse and harmful behavior. It's a negative effect both physical and mental health, with depression being a leading cause of death for college students. Academic success is crucial for graduations, and students must manage time and activity carefully to interact with diverse individuals. Understand the link between stress and student achievement is crucial for addressing this issue. The research objective of this study will be to identify whether teaching and learning materials will influence student interests and study habits. It also to determine the relationship between family and peer influence with student interests and study habits. It also to investigate whether student financial management will also influence the student interests and study habits. The research questions used in this study are: what the relationship between learning and teaching materials with study habits, what the relationship between family and peer influence with student interests, and also what the relationship between student financial management and the study habits. Next, significance of the study. This study is crucial for UiTM students and college administrators by highlighting the complex relationship between student stress and academic performance. It aims to empower students by providing them with knowledge and tools to effectively manage stress, optimize their performance, and inspire optimism and ambitions. Findings can be applied by other educational institutions, providing valuable guidance for students from diverse backgrounds. So I'm going to wrap up our presentation on chapter 1. So I will pass to the next presenter who will be diving into the next chapter. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alia and I'm going to be presenting research instruments. So the research instrument was used in questionnaire, and all the items in the questionnaire was carefully designed by the researchers as to make sure the questions meet the research objective of this study. So, the instruments were given to 150 respondents, and responses to individual items were measured using a 5-point Likert type scale. So, 5-point Likert scale is basically a forced Likert scale, and the reason it's named as such is that the user is forced to form an opinion, and all data were evaluated using a scale 1, strongly disagree, scale 2, disagree, scale 3, neutral, scale 4, agree, scale 5, strongly agree. And the questionnaire was distributed through a survey in a selected group to each respondent, which consists of 3 parts, which are demographic, stress, and student achievement. First part is demographics. In this section contains a questionnaire related to the respondent demographic backgrounds and is required to complete an email, gender, age, semester, faculty accommodation, source of income, and how much students spend monthly. Next, in part 2 is stress. In these sections, there are 3 independent variables for factors that affect student stress, which are teachings and learning materials, family and peer influence, and student financial management. Questions on each variable are divided into subheadings under the same sections. The questionnaire was evaluated on a 5-point Likert scale, which first, strongly disagree, scale 2 disagree, scale 3 moderate, scale 4 agree, and scale 5 strongly agree. The last part, which is part 3, were students' achievement. This section consists of questions that emphasize the student achievement, which are student interests and study habits.
In this section, we use a descriptive analysis technique to study the response of participants on various demographic factors. These factors include gender, age, semester, faculty, accommodation status, source of income, and monthly spending. We collect a total of 80 data sets from the respondents for further analysis. In terms of age, the majority of respondents were between 23 and 25 years old, making up the largest group. The second largest group consists of individuals aged between 18 and 22 years old. Next, the genders of students. The survey found that 61% of the participants were female, while only 90% were male. For this semester of students, the majority of respondents were in their fifth semester, with 26 students in this category. Next, the percentage of faculty of the respondent. Majority of respondents come from the Faculty of Business and Management with a percentage of 65%. For accumulation of the students, according to the observation, the majority of the students choose to live on campus instead of living with their parents or renting a house. So approximately 71.3% of students have the option to stay at the college. The majority of students rely on PTPTN as their main source of income, accounting for 50% of respondents. The second largest group received financial support from their parents, making up 38.8% of students. Most students spend their money on monthly basis, with the higher percentage allocating with a budget of ringgit Malaysia 0 to 250 ringgit per month. The second largest group, representing 25% of students, spend between 250 ringgit and 350 ringgit per month.
Next, let me explain about descriptive statistic for independent variable, which is teaching and learning. According to the result of the descriptive statistics for the teaching and learning table, the majority of respondents stated that it was important for them to consider that teaching and learning do affect their stress. Moreover, based on the results, they can claim that studying harder to improve their performance when the grades are low has the highest mean, which is 4.3125, and the range for this descriptive analysis was 3.5125 until 4.3125. And the 7 questions in this study about teaching and learning will influence stress in range from strongly disagree to strongly agree on a Likert scale of 1 to 5.
Descriptive statistics were used to find the average and standard deviation for the result on family and peer influence. This section of this questionnaire has 7 questions with response ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree on a scale of 1 to 5. The highest average score was 4.5875, indicating that most parents wanted their children to be well educated. The average scores for this analysis range from 2.4125 to 3.9625, with the highest score falling between 4.0750 and 4.5875.
And last, descriptive statistic for independent variable, which is students' financial management. So based on the results, showed the majority of answers chosen by the respondents on the students' financial management variable questions with a mean rate between 3.00 and 3.8250 moderately agree that financial management is influence their academic achievements. The highest mean was 3.8250, that students always conscious about not having enough money. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amy Balki Shafira. I'm going to present about descriptive statistic 4, which is analysis for student interest in the student interest analysis. We found that the majority of students recognize the importance of using their interest to reduce stress and improve academic achievement. The analysis includes 5 well-designed questions to understand the respondent's perspective. To gather this insight, we use a likely scale that allows students to indicate their level of agreement on a scale from 1 to 5, ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. This comprehensive approach provides valuable and nuanced information about how students view the connection between their interests and academic success. Besides that, one significant finding was that the highest means value is 4.5125 was related to the pursuit of good grades on tests, quiz, assignment, and project. The range of score in this analysis was from 3.5250 to 4.5123. Overall, this study carefully assessed students' interest using the Likert scale, enabling a true evaluation of their perspective on how their interests impact their academic goals. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Siti Aisha binti Mazlan and I will present about descriptive analysis of study habits. According to the table, study habits significantly impact students' stress level and academic achievement. Students study harder to improve performance when grades are low with a mean of 4.2375. Improved study habits are essential for addressing the demands of an ever-growing education system. Research has shown a connection between organized behavioral pattern and superior academic achievement. Students should develop good study habits to manage academic stress and improve their result and success.
The table provided shows that there is a significant relationship between teaching and learning and student interest. The correlation coefficient and p-value indicate that this relationship is statistically significant. The p-value of less than 0.001 strengthens the acceptance of the research hypothesis, confirming that teaching and learning can strongly impact student interest at UiTM.
Next, I will explain about research objective 2, which is teaching and learning influence study habits. The table shows that the correlation between teaching and learning as well as study habits. The analysis found that significant relationship between these variables, which is the R is 0.507 and the P is less than 0.01. The study habits table also confirmed a significant association with teaching and learning. The R is 0.507 and the P is 0.001. The low p-value is 0.01, supposed to accept the research hypothesis. According to an article by N. N.G. Thompson in 1974, efforts have been made to develop self-report inventories focused on specific dimensions of academic motivation, linking to the cooperative academic attainments with self-esteem. In conclusion, the findings strongly suggest that teaching and learning significantly influence study habits in UiTM. Next is research objective 3 is to determine the relationship between family and peers influence and student interest. The table data show a relationship between family and peer pressure and student interest. Interestingly, here is the result indicate that student interests are not influenced by their families or peers, which support this idea. The p-value is 0.068, is higher than the common significance level of 0.05, suggesting a notable negative relationship between family peers and student interests. Due to this high p-value, we reject the research hypothesis. Consequently, based on the research finding, it is evident that the potential pressure from the family and peers does not serve as an indicator of student interest in UiTM. Next, I will pass to the next presenter to proceed more details about this research.
Next, I will present about the relationship between family and peer influence and study habits. The table shows no significant negative correlation between family and peer pressure and study habits in UiTM students. The p-value is 0.177, indicating no significant adverse connection. Research suggests that negative peer pressure and poor study habits are not responsible for poor academic performance. Moreover, this is because the p-value is sufficiently greater than 0.05. In this instance, the research hypothesis cannot be supported. Therefore, family and peer pressure are not an indicator of study habits in UiTM.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Fahmi bin Aziz. The information that was given out in the table indicate that there may be a correlation between the student interest and finance situation. The data show neither the student's financial situation nor student interest. That fact, the p-value is sustainability 0.095 more significant than 0.05, indicate a primary unfavorable link between a student financial affair and student interest. Other than that, it is supported by the correlation which reveal no connection. In addition to this is the case since the p-value is much higher than 0.05. In the case, the evidence cannot support the research hypothesis. As a result of the outcome of the research, It is abundantly clear that the level of financial support a student receive does not predict the student interest in UiTM. According to the data in the table, there could be a link between a student financial situation and their study habit. The findings show neither the student spending patterns nor their study habit. The fact the p-value is significant 0.246, which is more than 0.05, suggests that there is strong negative relationship between student financial situation and their study habit. The correlation which demonstrate that is no connection between them support this. Besides that, this is also true since the p-value is much more significant than 0.05. The data in the specific instance does not support the research hypothesis. This data finding have made it clear that student financial situation is not a reliable indicator of their study habit at UiTM.
Now, let's move on to the last chapter, which is Chapter 5. The research objectives are summarized in this chapter and providing an overview of the findings, suggestions, and conclusions of the study. Let's start with a summary of the main findings. As you can see on the first objective, the research findings show a significant relationship between teaching and learning materials and student interest, indicating a significant stress effect on academic achievement. Thus, we accept the result as we conduct the research. However, on the second research objective, question and hypothesis, we reject the result since there is connection between teaching and learning materials and study habits. Thus, the teaching and learning materials with study habits indicating a significant impact on academic achievement. The third research objective, question and hypothesis, accept the lack of correlation between student interest and family and peer influence, indicating no significant stress effect on academic achievement. Lastly, the fourth research objective, question and hypothesis, accept the lack of a significant relationship between financial management, influence, and student habits, indicating no discernible impact on academic achievement. Next, discussion based on each findings. Research Objective 1, Chapter 4 reveals that teaching and learning materials impact students' interest at UiTM. Stress has a significant impact on students' achievement, and there is a strong correlation between student interest and teaching and learning materials. The quality of teaching and learning materials is the most significant factor influencing student achievement. For Research Objective 2, Chapter 4 reveals that teaching and learning materials significantly impact students' study habits at UiTM. Stress and study habits have a positive relationship with well-stocked labs and libraries boosting academic. The nature, conditions, sufficiency, and relevance of learning materials impact learning engagement and habits. The most crucial factor influencing student achievement is teaching and learning materials. Next, Research Objective 3. This research reveals that family and peer influence does not significantly impact student interest in UiTM. Previous study shows while student association with social active peers did not appear to be related to their academic performance, this association with learning-oriented and diligent type peers were. Therefore, there is no relationship between family and peer influences and student interest in UiTM. Lastly, Research Objective 4. The research shows that financial support does not predict a student's interest in UiTM. The study aims to identify whether students' financial management influence study habits. The stress effect does not influence achievement, as previous study shows that families' household income does not significantly influence financial decisions. Therefore, there is no relationship between student financial management influence and study habits. So, there are several recommendations are made based on the findings for future research to enhance stress effects on students' achievements. First, expand more populations for research purposes. This should include university students from other states by increasing sample size and producing more precise results. Collecting over 250 respondents from various campuses, such as from UiTM Shah Alam and UiTM Jengke, will improve accuracy and reliability by incorporating multiple semesters and courses. Next, extend time. Extending the time limit for survey questionnaire distribution and data collection can increase respondents' rate, improve data quality, and ensure equal participants from all respondents. Research should make appropriate plans to consider these factors when designing questionnaire-based studies. Lastly, various platforms for distributing the questionnaire. Dispersing questionnaire across multiple platforms can improve research quality and scope. reducing biases and ensuring validity. Expanding online platforms beyond WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok can increase participations and reduce the risk of biases. So, this study aims to understand the factors influencing stress-related student achievement at UiT and Putra Alam. It compares stress management techniques to teaching and learning materials, family and peer influence, and students' financial management. The sample consists of current generation degree participation conducting in an unfavorable sampling locations. Future research should address these issues by asking respondents' age and distributing questionnaire to each age group. The study successfully addressed stress effects on students' achievement, highlighting the importance of teaching and learning materials for most students. Educational institutions should design lessons that complement this factor to reduce the stress level. Overall, the research questions and objectives have been addressed. Once again, thank you for listening. We hope you leave here today with a newfound appreciation for stress effect and students' achievement. Thank you.